weird shit's happening in Boston. Not really sure what to make of it, honestly. Reports out of Boston last week was that the interim tag would not be removed from Joe Mazzulla. Eesh! Not exactly sure why that is, since up until, pretty recently, the Celtics were the number one team in the NBA. They had the number one defense. They were having an historically good offense. And I mean, by historically, I mean the best statistically in the entire history of the NBA. So, until they weren't, right? Like, people starting to see some of the limitations of our man, our righteous man, our God-fearing man, Joe Mazzulla. So what's going on in Boston? They are 5-5 in their last 10. They have lost ground so fast to the streaking Nets. Nets, by the way, which we will talk about next episode because I didn't have enough time. They have won 10 in a row. These motherfuckers have won 10 in a row. And you know who is not, apparently not to be praised for that? Jacques Vaughn, who all of a sudden takes over for Steve Nash and they just start winning games. I digress. Ever since they blew out the Suns on December 7th, who have their own problems, right? Things have just been really odd. Blowout losses to the Warriors, which you could probably expect because the Warriors have their number. But then they get blown out to the Clippers. They get blown out. They lose to the Magic twice. No shade to the Magic. They lose to the Nuggets, sandwiched between a couple of showings against the Bucks and the Rockets. Just a very seesaw, very bad, very good team. So last night, kind of a perfect example of this, so I wanted to talk about it because the weirdness surrounding this team goes everywhere. So the Celtics are currently trying to claw back at this point from a 13-point hole against the Nuggets in Denver. They've got 6:43 left in the fourth. They're trying to figure it out. Time Lord dunks, try to get some energy back into the team. He hangs on the rim. No, don't do that, Rob Williams. Don't do that. Oh, yeah, he bends the rim to the point where they had to spend 40 minutes to fix it. I'm like, what's going on here? Why are they interviewing Timothy Mozgov right now? I'm switching to the game. I'm like, why is Timothy Mozgov being interviewed? I don't know. Why are there multiple ladders on the court? Why is there a random guy with a level? Why am I seeing zoomed in level bubble? Like it's just moving back and forth. I'm fascinated. I don't even know why. The 40 minutes of this. And you know what? They still didn't even fix it. They had to bring a new rim out. They had to bring a hand wrench out. These are not lies. This is really what happened. I watched it. They had to find random people in the crowd to interview. It's just players trying to stand up, stay warm. They're doing jumping jacks on the side. They're running back and forth. Jokic was doing wind sprints. First time I've ever seen Jokic sprint for no reason. So then they finally get the game back started up, and it goes from bad to worse. Tatum didn't score another bucket. What? He had 25 with 6 minutes and 43 seconds left. He finished with 25. Rough for me. That was the last leg of the parlay for me. I needed 26.5 points for Tatum. Oh, my God. Nuggets were up 110-97 when that long break happened. They cruised the rest of the way, 123-111. But it was actually worse than that because the Nuggets brought in their scrubs with 2 minutes left. The Celtics brought in their scrubs. Tatum only took 2 shots in the final 6 minutes and 30 seconds. And one was a 27-foot, heave with guys draped around him, which was an air ball. It was an air ball. Jaylen Brown, after the game, as you might imagine, was pissed. And that was their rim, by the way. It was their rim that it was bent, not the Nuggets' rim. They didn't get to switcheroo because it was only 6 minutes left to go in the quarter. This is what he had to say. Rim never got fixed.
Nah, it was no communication. Obviously the rim got, I guess, a little bit leveled to the left or whatever, and they spent all that time to trying to fix it. But when we came back, it still looked like it wasn't even level, in my opinion. So it was we just wasted all that time. Has an effect on the game. That's how injuries and stuff happen. And luckily that didn't. But that was that wasn't good. The whole process was handled poorly, in my opinion, and that had an effect on the game as well. But luckily, nobody got hurt.
Handled poorly, in my opinion. No communication. Tatum said the delay was just weird. I've never been through anything like that in my career. It wasn't like they could tell us how long we were going to have to wait because they didn't know. What do you make of these strange things in Boston that are happening? I don't know, man. Like, it could just be a little mid-season hiccup. Who knows? Could be something indicative of something bigger. When they lose, Boston loses big, like they did to the Magic. When they win, they tend to win big. They play good defense. They're unstoppable offensively. We're going to know more, I think, probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks. But remember, Boston was 500 at the All-Star break last year. So next 2 weeks, they face the Mavs, the Nets, the Pelicans in a 7-day stretch. So we'll have to keep it in our purview, as so they say. Things can get ugly fast. Also, there's rumors coming out that the reason Mazzulla won't get the interim tag lifted is because Boston's flirting with the idea of bringing back Ime Udoka. You add that into the mix. Now the pressure cooker is on for our God-fearing, God-loving Joe Mazzulla.